The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. Mets in the zone, New York Mets in the New York Mets zone. It was a terrific week, kind of bittersweet. We'll tell you about it in a minute. The Mets had the first Old-Timers Day in 28 years. And that's a shanda to the Wilpons, robbing fans the chance to see some folks sometimes for the final time. And the Mets really outdid themselves. 65 invitees. I think the only thing to me, and I'll start it off with my my rant, was that we got to see John Stearns one last time. He is very sick in the stage 4 of pancreatic cancer. And it's really crazy because a few years ago I did an interview with Lenny Randall, and Lenny brought on John Stearns, and he was in full stride, and to see him like this is heartbreaking. He wasn't the only infirm former Met. Cranepool didn't look very well. But, you know, just to be alive at some of their ages, Jay Hook was there, Cliff Cook was there. Start with you, Marty. Your impressions of the event.
First, when I saw Stearns, I mean, oh my God, I said, how is he even walking? He really looked terrible. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just the whole thing in itself, it was a great event. I'm so happy with the owner. I mean, Uncle Stevie here, he paid for everything. He paid for all the traveling and hotel expenses for everybody. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. But and just to see all those guys, I was just wondering about a couple of guys. Maybe you know. Is anything wrong with Kingman? He's only 73. He wasn't there. I don't know. And the other thing, of course, is David Wright. Now David Wright claimed that there was a scheduling conflict with something, but this was known that was going to happen right from the beginning of the year. Everybody knew about it. Everybody knew the date. And I'm just wondering why he didn't show up. Now, I know he's got a bad back and all, but, you know, he's able to walk, I'm sure. I just don't get it, you know, unless it was one of these.
I don't think it's his back. I think it's his mindset of not wanting to be an old-timer.
Really?
So, yeah. Some guys give it up, and he was a good example. He spent 2 years in agony daily to try to come back.
I know. I'm just wondering if it's not one of these Joe DiMaggio things where if I don't get announced last, I'm not coming, you know.
Right from the beginning, okay, when they announced that they're going to do the old timers game and the old timers thing, And, Wright was asked about it. He said right from the beginning he probably was not going to, because as Ralph said, he didn't feel he was in that, realm yet as an old timer.
Oh boy, it's just bringing back. It's just bringing back ex-players is all it is. I mean, damn.
Yeah. Maybe in his mind, he didn't want to take away from the, the true old timers, but there were guys there that, sort of were in his, era, and they were having a good time. So
yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah,
I don't understand that. I don't understand why Grody wasn't invited back. I don't know if it was some sort of feud. Dyer wasn't there either, but he may be ill. He may have had COVID, and I know he had COVID, but he could be suffering from long-term effects from that.
I believe Grody was to Citi Field earlier in the season.
He was for Seaver's unveiling.
Wow.
And he
so some of these guys may not have been able to, do it more than once,
Yes, that for a number of reasons. But I was sorry not to see him there. But there were a few surprises. Frank Thomas, 91 years old, 92. We forget, we don't, but a lot of people do. In 1962, he hit 34 home runs.
That's right.
For the Mets.
Yeah.
He was about their only power hitter. I remember guys like Gus Bell and Hodges were not able to stay healthy for any length of time.
Right. Well, he played just about every day.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
He even played some third base for the Mets.
Yeah, I think more third base than anything else. Although
he was the left fielder. He was the regular left fielder, but once in a while they get some of the other players in case he played him at third.
Yeah. Wow, it gave us a chance to cry a little bit. I mean, I teared up a number of times. Not so much for the players that were there, but the players that were gone. This is something Seaver should have lived to see that.
Yeah.
If no
but
one else.
They did a nice job with having Seaver's daughter there, to have Gil Hodges' daughter there. They had either the wives or daughters of players that are no longer living there, escorting some of the other players. And I thought that was pretty good.
Well, speaking of Irene Hodges, Gil's daughter, I'm going to plug the network a little bit. Claire Hall did an excellent interview with her on our network. I think it was the day of the ceremony or the day after, on her reaction to her dad getting into the hall. And it was terrific. It's the third or fourth time she's been on the network. And I want to reach out to her and tell her how appreciative I am. She's a grandmother herself. I didn't realize that. We're getting up there. I got to see her the other day. Somebody with my hair, somebody called me a grandmother. Hey, old lady, moving along.
Did they call you a grandmother or a bag lady?
You could be both in today's day and age. I'm ambidextrous. Did you guys read Howard Johnson's scathing review of the Wilpons? No, I didn't.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah, oh yeah, he really ripped them to shreds over the lack of doing things with players and bringing it.
Where was this?
It was in the newspapers.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up later. Okay.
Yeah, look that up because you'll see it. But he just gave a scathing report about them, and he was in their system for a while. He was coaching in the Mets system for a while too.
Oh,
yes.
Right. Yeah, right.
And if you remember, Howard Johnson had 3 years of 30-30 production.
Yeah, he was great.
Yes.
He was terrific. And the Mets got a lot of heat giving up Ray Knight after the 69 season. I don't remember if they just didn't sign him or what, but they were well rewarded for that with Howard Johnson's production. And he seems like a good guy, a straight shooter. So, yeah. So
the big surprise, of course, was number 24.
Yes.
That was, I don't know if anybody saw that coming, but finally, I did not remember that Mrs. Payson promised Willie that when he first came here. I did not remember that. I don't remember if it was publicized at the time or not. But retiring his number as she promised, while Willie is still with us, that was a great thing. It really was.
Yes. No question. It comes under the category of having a Jackie Robinson statue out in front of Citi Field.
Yeah.
But still, somebody said that the best thing to remember it by was that Willie was New York baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they left, Jackie had been retired. So it was Willie that we missed more than any one individual when they left us in 54 or in 57.
Right.
So, that was it.
And let me make a correction too. It was Ray Knight, not Howard Johnson, that blasted the Wilpons.
Ray Knight.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pissed for that reason. What I talked about before, they gave up on him and kept Hojo. So very interesting. Anybody else that you guys want to pay homage to? I wonder about Kuzman not being there.
Well, he was there when they retired his number.
Yeah.
Earlier this year. So I don't know why. I didn't hear why he wasn't there.
Yeah. But, my two guys from the 73 team who I enjoyed the most were Felix Mion and Gentleman Jim. I blank on Gentleman Jim's the pitcher. Matlack, number 32.
Matlack, he was there.
They were both there, and they looked great. Both of them slim and like they could play tomorrow. And
what about your boy Dougie Flynn?
Dougie Flynn was not there.
Yeah, Dougie Flynn, Joe Youngblood.
Both of them were not. Yes. Rod Gaspar wasn't there, or as he corrected me when I had him do an interview, he said it's Gaspar. Yeah. All those years I was correcting people. Oh, you can't be a Met fan. You don't remember Rod Gaspar. But so to be corrected by Rod Gaspar was kind of cool in a way. George Theodore wasn't there. Would have. It's
they had 65 guys there. So I guess some of them health wise, who knows what some of the other reasons were. Hopefully in future years there'll be some of the guys that weren't there this year.
Right, exactly. Okay, guys, let's talk about the Dodgers series. Update on tonight's game, if you will, Robert. And you guys didn't get proper introductions. Marty Rose and Robet Cole. Yep. Bernie Rose is on the IL, and we wish him the best in recovering. This time, shingles. A bitch of a disease, but not fatal. And
he got on medication very quickly, so it's just an uncomfortable thing to have.
Yeah. Feel better, Bernie.
Yeah.
Right.
So
even though we know you're a Dodger fan, you're not going to fool. You're not going to fool us. And maybe he just couldn't come on at a day when the Mets were playing the Dodgers. That made him even sicker. But in all seriousness,
I was talking to him before we went on, and about the bottom of the first inning. He when Alonso was up and he could have broken it open, Bond was about to hang it up already. That's it. That's it. This could be it right here, But anyway, you know how he is. But in any case, it's the top of the fourth inning, and it's 3-2 LA. So.
Right. Yeah. Plenty of time for another barn burner. There was a barn burner the other day that kept getting me. It was 6-3 and then 6-6.
Oh yeah, that 7-6 game with
Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, they kept coming back. They did.
Yeah. They did what they have to do in that series, and that's win 3 out of 4. It's going to come down to winning the series, getting back to basics. I wonder what's going to happen with Atlanta. They just have looked great.
Well, St. Louis kind of put them in their place a little bit. Was it St. Louis took 2 out of 3, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was nice. And God, I don't know. You look at the schedule, and they should win so many games, but then I remember what happened. Was it last year? Last year when they played Pittsburgh, they had a hard time with them. Now they got a bunch of games with Pittsburgh coming up in the next couple of weeks, like about 7 games. So, you can't count your chickens. You really can't.
No, you can't. And like I was saying a week or so ago, the teams that are out of it have no pressure on them. So they're playing a game just to be playing a game off times. or just for their own stats or whatever, or to get their name in the paper. But the pressure of the pennant race isn't there. And I think that kind of evens up the comparison, who we're going to play, a second division team, this, that, and the other thing, because you really never know. And it's the spoilers that decide it so often. But this looks to be like we know who's getting in the playoffs. We just don't know the order.
Right.
Pretty hard to deny that the Dodgers.
You know what? The Dodgers' magic number is down to 15 already.
Yeah.
It's not even September. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they're gonna coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you see? What do you guys see good about the next couple of weeks, Robert?
Just keep playing the way they've been playing. You have the two, Scherzer and DeGrom are important. They still have to get a couple of other guys back. They've got to figure out their bullpen. Who's going to be where, who's still going to be in the bullpen. McGill is probably going to be back, and they just got to, get things sorted out. Even if the unthinkable happens and the Braves should pass them, we know they're going to be in the playoffs. Chances are they'll be the home team for the 3 games. So they just have to get them, their things sorted out.
Yeah. Marty.
Yeah, well, I think they're in good shape. I'm not really that concerned. I think the main guys in the bullpen are still doing a good job. Unfortunately, you can't pitch them every day, but besides Diaz, you got Ottavino and Lugo and May. They're all doing a good job. This Givens guy who they picked up, I got no confidence at all in him. He hasn't shown a thing. And the other guys like Rodriguez, he's not any good either. Even though he's left-handed, but so what? He's still got to be able to pitch.
Well, Ralph's left-handed too, and what are we going to get out of Ralph?
What do you normally get out of Ralph? And you look at the back of his baseball card, you'll get basically what you're going to get. But he's signed.
Well, if McGill comes back, he could go in the bullpen. You got Peters, Carrasco will be back.
Peterson's
looked very good.
Yes,
he's looked really good. So if they put Peterson and McGill in the bullpen, that strengthens it a lot. If necessary, if the other 5 guys are all, not 100%. So, I think they're in fine shape. It's just that, like we were saying before, they got to keep the pedal to the metal and not ease up against the under 500 teams.
Right. And if you remember, we have Scherzer, DeGrom, and Diaz on the same pitching staff in the same year. This has got to be the magical year we hope for.
I hope so.
Guillermo came back much faster than we thought he would.
Has he been activated yet? I didn't see that.
I don't know if he's been activated, but he's taking ground balls. And
I heard he was getting close. Yeah,
getting close.
That's a good thing.
And Beatty continues to hit a little bit in key situations. He's got 2 or 3 really key hits since he's been up. Mm-hmm. And you got to love that stroke.
Yeah, very good swing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he'll be a player next year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. He'll be the third baseman for a long time. No question about it.
Yeah. Speaking of prospects, Alvarez got hurt down in the minors. He's got an ankle injury, and he could be out. He could be out for the year.
Well, that's unfortunate, but he wasn't coming up anyway. So.
Yeah, and that prevents some of the people from trying to get him promoted. The guy that may come up now will be Vientos, because he's been red hot.
Mm. Yeah. How many more? What I get? 2. They get 2 more guys to add, right?
You get 2 more guys, and one of them will probably be a pitcher, because you can go up to 14 pitchers.
Well, that might be McGill, because I think wasn't he on the 60-day IL?
Yes. Yeah.
So he's got to take a roster space when he comes back.
Yeah.
And then Vientos could be the other guy. So yeah, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
Okay. All in all, guys, it's the best baseball season we've had in a long time. Everything considered. Availability, they play every day. You don't have the COVID thing going. They made up the games basically without a problem, from the late start. And so let's just hope for the best. How about that?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
All right. Good podcast, guys. It's devoted to Bernie, and in hopes that he comes back soon.
Yep. All the best.
All right. Stay well, guys. Thank you for everybody for listening. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. It's the best Met podcast on the internet, and I ain't just bragging. If you do it, it's done. What the fuck am I talking about? Well, sometimes I don't know. That's now the question is, can I get out adios and happy trails without embarrassing myself?
And
I did it.
And Mark Hanna just hit another home run.
Whoa. No Lowry is he?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Tied it up.
Yep.
Had a lot of making up to do with my Oakland Connect. But
I think
we have, besides Marte, and if he stays healthy, he's having a hell of a year, and he will be responsible for a great deal of the Mets' success when all is said and done. We got the pitcher. We sort of made up for Lowry on that one, who was released by the A's earlier in the week. So it's a crazy game. As Joe Garaggioli used to say, baseball is a funny game.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you again. Look forward to it next week or the week after. When we do it, we'll do it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, everybody. Like I say, adios and happy trails.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned network production. You are advised to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting offices and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening, everyone. Happy trails.